So you want to start botting in RuneScape to make some real life cash, but you don't know how to get started because you're constantly getting banned. Well, trust me, I know exactly what that's like. I spent a lot of time with a lot of different programs, constantly getting banned, not really knowing what I'm doing wrong. Every time I felt like I was getting somewhere, I'd lose all my progress and then I wouldn't really be sure what to do next. Well, in this video, I'm going to try to save you some of the trouble that I went through and get you straight into making some money. So if this sounds like you, please stick around, listen to the whole video. I promise you this is going to help you a lot in the long run. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I know it doesn't really cross your mind when you tune into a video, but that little click means a lot to me. Alright, let's dive into it. The first thing you have to understand is botting in old school RuneScape isn't straightforward. There's a lot of nuance that goes into it. There's a lot of different things that you wouldn't even think about that Jagex looks at that'll get your account banned. Jagex can compare accounts on the same machine even if you have different IPs. That means if you're using different proxies for your accounts, but you're running them off the same machine, Jagex can see that and they can connect those accounts together as part of a bot farm. You see this a lot of the time when people get chain banned even though they're using proxies. For instance, early on, I ran about 6 accounts with proxies and I was very surprised to find out they all got banned at the exact same time, even though they were all doing completely different activities. When it happened, I was so confused. I didn't understand how Jagex put the dots together. But after doing all my research and learning what Jagex is actually doing behind the scenes, I realized that the way I was botting was actually pretty unsafe. Jagex stores files for each account on your computer along with some data files. These files are sent to them as packets while you play the game. Some people think that deleting these files is the best way to go because then Jagex can't receive them, but other people think that deleting them creates red flags and Jagex will look at the accounts even more after that. There's really no way to completely eliminate it because even if you delete it, they'll just get recreated the next time you run the account. The best way to eliminate this problem is to isolate your accounts, either on different machines, virtual machines, or with some kind of software that's going to isolate it for you. For me, the thing that got me over this hump was Botting Hub. Every account that you run through the Botting Hub software is completely isolated in its own environment, and Jagex isn't able to link them together as if they were on the same computer. In my opinion, this is one of the single biggest reasons why people get banned. If you're not able to properly isolate your accounts, you're just asking for your gold farm to get removed from the game. If you want to get around this, you can use multiple virtual machines or even pay for server hosting to separate your bots. Using virtual machines severely limits your CPU power and will really cut down on the number of bots that you can run at once. I would definitely recommend the virtual machine option if you only want to run a couple of bots, but if your goal is to make a large gold farm, you're going to want something a lot better than that. Once you've figured out how you're going to isolate your accounts, you need to actually create them and get them started. When I started out, I was making a new email address for every account. That was a wild time. It took a lot of time and effort for me to create all those accounts, and come to find out, Jagex actually allows multiple accounts to be created under the same email by adding a plus sign to the end of your address. For instance, me+1@gmail.com, me+2@gmail.com, and so on. So now you know how to come up with emails for your accounts, but you can't just go and create a whole batch of them. You'll probably get flagged or browser banned off the 4th one. I'm not joking. You'll actually get locked out of account creation pretty quickly. To get around this, you'll need to clear your cookies, switch your proxy, log in on your browser, go back to account creation on RuneScape, and create another account after each one that you've completed. Trust me, this is super tedious and time consuming. It's even worse than Tutorial Island, to be honest. Oh, and did I forget to mention that you have to verify your email address after each account that you create? Luckily for me, I can create up to 30 accounts a day with the touch of a button and let Botting Hub do all that work for me, so I have more time for fun stuff, you know, whatever that is. Next, you need to come up with some decent scripts. You should avoid free scripts as much as possible. They're so widely used that Jagex has been able to gather a lot of information on them. Their patterns are much more easily detectable than paid scripts, so you want to find some good quality scripts with low amounts of people using them. Basically, any paid script is going to have a much lower user count than a free one, but you'll also have to consider the quality of the script. Scripts with unique mouse profiles and other human-like anti-ban are what you want to look for. OSBot has quite a few good options for scripts, but personally, I love SARS scripts. Not only does he make high quality scripts, but he has amazing support. He's very active in the Discord and he's always around to answer questions or solve problems when you have them. Another great option is subscripts on the Dreambot platform, but those can get pretty pricey. He has an account builder along with a few plugins to support it, like a Quester and various PVM scripts. It's a pretty complete package, but at $100 for just the basic account builder and another $100 for the Quester, it's a lot of money up front. Anyway, these options are great for smaller scale, but they don't solve the problem of isolating accounts, and they can be pretty pricey once you add them all up. Another option is Botting Hub. They offer all the scripts you need for leveling an account and making money built into the same platform that provides you that anonymity, as well as our next topic, organization. It can be pretty hard when your farms grow bigger to keep track of which IP belongs to which account. You've got to be careful when logging your accounts in that you don't accidentally put a few of them on the same IP. This can easily lead to an investigation, a chain ban, and really ruin all your hard work. In my opinion, once you progress past about 10 accounts, it's necessary to invest in an account manager. You need something to eliminate the human error when logging accounts in and out, as well as keeping track of all your information for you. It also helps if your account manager can organize scripts together into batches or tasks so you can plan out your bot progression, i.e. day 1, day 2, and have multiple scripts under each day. Keeping track of account progression would be another big plus, for instance, showing what task was ran last and whether or not it was completed, as well as if your account was locked or banned. Of course, Botting Hub does all this for you, but OSBot does have a built-in task creator where you can queue up multiple scripts with CLI arguments at once. The last thing that I'm going to cover that I think all beginner botters struggle with is patience. The initial feeling is usually to set up a bot straight out of Tutorial Island with minimal breaks and let it run for a week straight. But of course, you find out it's banned before the week is over. When you get started, you need to progress slowly while you figure out what works for you. Every time you get banned, you need to assess the situation and adjust accordingly. If you find your accounts always get banned while you're leveling crafting at the Edgeville Furnace overnight, maybe change that step on the next bot and see if you make it through the day. Or if you absolutely have to level there because you're limited by your scripts, then try to adjust your break settings or decrease the amount of time spent there every day. Like for instance, if you need your bot to spend 4 hours at the furnace, maybe run it for an hour between each of your other scripts until you meet your mark. This is probably one of the hardest parts to figure out because not many people want to share their secrets. But also, it's usually a combination of things that contribute to the ban and not just one specific thing like somebody's secret break settings. While one break setting works for someone, it might not work for you based on what activity you're doing and how long you're doing it for, as well as what activities you do before and after it. This is really something you have to come up with on your own over time with trial and error. If you really want to skip some of the trial and error and you want something to start you off, Botting Hub has a guide to botting on their website that's pretty long and in-depth. But remember, you will still need to go through some trial and error. It won't magically solve all your problems. For those of you that made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you watching. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. But for the impatient few, let me sum it all up for you. In my opinion, the most important things you have to consider are anonymity and isolation, which requires the use of software like virtual machines or multiple computers, proper account creation, and if you mess this up, you're guaranteed to fail, quality scripts, preferably with unique mouse profiles, organization and automation to eliminate human error on larger farms, but obviously this doesn't really apply to smaller ones, and patience for trial and error while you perfect your unique way of leveling and making cash. If, after hearing all this, you're interested in getting all of this from one platform, please use my referral link and discount code RUNEBOT10 in the description for 10% off your order. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing and whether or not my videos helped you at all. If you want to share your experiences, please leave a comment and I'll try to respond to you when I can. Alright, good luck out there guys, happy botting, I'll see you in the next one.